Hello, Janet.
I guess I'm on. No, I was sitting here. I guess I hit a button to go on. How long have I been? How long have I been on, everyone? I'm sorry I wasn't speaking. I just happened to look and see the live button was on and the time was going on. So anyway, it's good to be here tonight, Friday. May I wish everyone a happy Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day today for three of my grandkids was very special as they got a new puppy. For me, it just means another dog to watch when they go on all their vacations. But plus the dog they have, I just absolutely love. As a matter of fact, I told my daughter now that all the attention will go to the puppy. If you want to give me your dog, I'll take him home with me tonight. And he would go in a heartbeat. Their regular dog is named Shadow. And the other night I was doing a chat with my daughter, and he heard my voice and literally come running from the kitchen to the living room looking for me. My dog is laying here on the floor next to me. She's had a long day. Just another day to like all. Yes, it is. I wish everyone here a happy Valentine's Day. Myself personally, I'm not a Valentine's person. Since I got out of school, and you always got all of the cards and some candy and things like that. But to me, Valentine's Day, and people might get mad at me when I say this, but it's the truth. It's a day made up to get businesses a lot more money. The husband has to go buy flowers, and in a lot of cases, the wives go and buy flowers. You have to buy candy for the kids. You have to buy all of the cards for all of the kids. If you go out, I go back to when I was that M word, when I was married. And I remember going out one night. Guys, I've been divorced for 18 years, so bear with me on this. We went out one night and we decided we were going to go to a little restaurant in Essex. They had a special, $75 for prime rib dinner, salad, a glass of wine, and dessert. $75 for two people. My ex-wife talked me into, let's go there. We've been hungry for prime rib. Let's go there. Okay. We went there, $75 by the time you leave the tip, by the time you pay the taxes. It's $100 night. Guys, remember, as I said, I've been divorced for 18 years, and we didn't do anything like that the last 10 years of our marriage. It was not what you would call a marriage. So we're looking close to 30 years ago at $75. Some people say, well, that's not bad. No, today it's not. But then about a month later, maybe 2 months later, I worked on Saturday like I had a tendency to do. I worked the weekends. I knew my wife wasn't home, and I knew my kids was at my mom and dad's and Uncle Ron's. They had eaten supper. So on the way home, I decided, Mom said, you want me to save supper for you? I said, I think I'm working overtime tonight. So I would have been working till 9 o'clock. Don't worry about it. I'll just go up and get something. Well, I didn't work overtime. And on the way home, I got thinking, she's not expecting me. I know she'd had something for me. So I went to the same restaurant. I got the king cut prime rib. I got everything else. I even drank a glass of wine. And for one person, I got out of there for a little under $25, not counting tip, but the meal, a little under 25. So I got the biggest cut they had. Everything else that I got that night for just me one, but if you take it times two, it would have been under 50, and they made it a deal just getting a regular cut. It is a day, I believe, that they just raise prices to screw people. Now, for all of yous that are lovey-dovey and believe in it, hallelujah. Happy Valentine's Day. I was told by the girl in the Ukraine that I better start liking it because she expects to go out. Hopefully she's going to be here next year. Hopefully things are going to happen. I don't know if you guys noticed the title of tonight's show. Friday night finale. Maybe final Friday night show ever for Patriots 5 and 6. And guys, I'm going to get into that, but I wanted to give you a little thing, something to think about if you're even listening. But I want to give you a little something to think about. But I want to talk to the kids real quick before I do the pledge. Me and Ron have been discussing the way I've been talking to the kids. I don't go individually.
Well, why would we still have shows as long as we don't?
I just talk. I just talk and you know, I might mention a few of the kids' names. I try to mention them all, and this is what I do. Super Jimmy, Patriot 7, Boogie, Boogs, Boogaloo, Boogaroo, Karate Kid and Wyatt Earp, the Princes Are Queen and Hunter, Leona and Leilani, and then mine, which is Patriot Super Gymnast, Patriot 7, Patriot Small Hank, Patriot Little Monkey, and Patriot Kira. To all of you kids, you mean the world to us. Our show, you can go out and you can watch any other show, and you do not hear them dedicate a segment that, and also not just a segment to the kids, talking to you kids, but also a segment that what we're going to do for you kids when all of this happens. We're going to make you the leaders of this world in a few years. One thing I wanted to share with all of you kids tonight is I was watching a video and reading an article the other day, and it was about the R&R money, you know, the money that when we got our birth certificates, if you're older and you got a marriage license, if you got a divorce decree, all your paperwork that they have been gambling, selling, and doing whatever for our whole lives. Well, even if you're a newborn baby. Now, I don't know if it's still in effect now because I think they put a stop to this. But you take little Kira, who's 2 years old. They've been doing this to her for 2 years. Now, unless there's a special circumstances, she cannot touch the little bit of money that she's going to have. It might be $1 million. I don't know. It may be $1 million. But if she can't touch it till she's 21, what will it be then? You know, and then I got thinking about my oldest granddaughter who is 10, a little Jimmy who is 11, all of these other kids who, you know, I know Hunter is I believe approaching teenage years, you know, the princes and what I got thinking is, wow, the only way you can touch that money is if like you decide you want to move out or you need it for college, but you're not going to need it for college, guys, because college is not going to be the way it is now. So it just gives all of the kids hope that, hey, right now, little Kira, my youngest, is probably a millionaire. We all are. It's in the account. You know, I made the statement about the shows. It could be our last one. Ron says, why can't we have other shows if we don't talk about it. I'm not saying we can't. I don't know the rules and regulations yet. I'm just saying what Bruce said the other night, and I agree. I was talking to one of the girls, Karen, last night, asked me a question, and I got back with her and I said, Karen, if we're allowed to do shows, if we're allowed to stay together, which we're going to have to be allowed to do some way, because, when you have people all over the United States working together on humanitarian projects, you have to have a way to communicate. So I think we'll have shows like that. I'm just saying there's not going to be the shows where we come in and we talk the way I do now. So that being said, kids, we love you. We're here for you. And never, ever, ever forget that. I never say a prayer that I don't say to God, please look after the children. And I named each and every one of your names in my prayers. And I said, plus all the children in the world. I don't want to rest. And I don't want it for God to say my time is up until we have all children safe with parents. And I'm not going to go in to the parents. You guys know my feelings about that. But when I say a certain thing, it bothers some people on the show. What?
Not meant for kids.
I'm going to get to that. Now, as Ron was just getting ready to say, and I was just getting ready to say also, remember, kids, this show is not meant for you. I make sure I say this every show. The music we're getting ready to play is for entertainment purposes only. We have no legal rights to it. You can watch the show, kids, under the discretion and approval of your parents, grandparents, or legal guardians. So there we go. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd work for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, where the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston, and New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, and I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I'd rather stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
So William decided to be founded. So you can monitor this stuff. And he was talking to me.
Mixed with you and defenders still today. Cause there ain't no doubt about this land.
He goes, oh, come on, Papa. Yes, he could have to keep it cut off. I said, so why don't you write it on I got you so you get your step and then keep writing on your back for you. Yes, sir. God bless the USA. I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. Who we got here tonight? Janet, who Ron told me was the first one on tonight. Pardon me? Golden Arrow, Janet, Ian Bell, John, Tony, Susie Q, Bill Woods. Okay, that's all I see right now. One voice for you. And I'm sure there's plenty more. I was trying to send this earlier, so I'll send it now. Hi, all Patriots. Where are we at? Guys, last night, I don't have my play-by-play announcer for Bruce, so I wait until either Ron or RS brings it to me. And I was sitting at home last night. Ron gave me a call, and we talked for a few minutes. This was about midnight, maybe a little after. And I said, have you listened to Bruce yet? And he said, no. I said, listen to it, and then we'll discuss it tomorrow when I come down. Well, I've had such a busy day that I really haven't had a chance to talk to him about it. But I thought last night Bruce was the Bruce with information and the way he presented it, the way he was before he fell in love with money. And we all love money. That's what, people can say, the R&R, the revaluation. It's not about the money. And I'm going to tell you right now, we're all lying. We're all wanting money. Now, what are we going to do with the money? I mentioned a little bit ago to the kids, I'm not going to rest. If God is able and willing to let me go, I'm not going to rest until all children have loved ones taking care of them. I don't want no more, well, if you take this child, we'll give you $150 a month to tend for them. So all of a sudden they say, hey, we can make this a job. And we can take on 5 or 6 and the kids never get anything. They end up in the streets. They end up doing drugs and the whole works. No. We want parents. It can be, and like I said, I'm not going to go into it. You guys know my feelings. I don't care what gender. I don't care what it is. There's only 2 genders. But I don't care if it's 2 of the same genders together or a man and I don't care. I just want the people. I don't care if they only got 1 parent. I want that kid to wake up every morning knowing that they're loved, knowing that they have a bed to sleep in, a roof on their head, and they're warm. That's what I want. And people look at me and say, boy, you get a little aroused. Yes, I do, because that is a passion for me. And I really hope and pray that everybody that's on this site will work with me, because this is a worldwide job. I already have the girl that I write in the Ukraine talking to a place where kids are kept. I can't think of the name of it. But anyway, orphanage. She already is in there. And she's telling them what we're going to be doing. But see, we're going to rebuild the orphanage so each kid has their own room. Each kid has their, if electronic products is still a thing like it is now, they'll have what they need. Even though they may not have the parent just then, because we're going to work hard. Tell me why. Can someone give me an answer why it costs so much to adopt a child? Why do we live in such a terrible place? You know why? Because all the money that goes for the adoption of a title was going into the Democratic Party's pockets, or the people that's bad's pockets. They cost $50,000 to do it. Cost $50,000 to do it, so a person gets desperate and someone comes and says, oh, well, we can go to another country and we can kidnap a kid and bring him back over here and we can sell him to you for $25,000. And people do this, guys. You see it on TV. TV can be bull crap at times. But then again, it can give you everything you need to know. My goodness gracious, a show I've still never watched one episode of The Simpsons. But being on social media, I've read a lot of the things that Homer said and the little girl said and what Bart, and I don't even know what the mom's name is. The people just creeped me out, and I never allowed my kids to watch it. They think it's funny now because they're adults and they can watch it. You can do what you want to do when you're adult. That's totally up to you. No more buying children. You're right, John. We want to make sure kids are safe. But Bruce, in his presentation last night, he sounded like the old Bruce. He was taking a breath in between saying something. See, what I've been getting from Bruce here recently is he lets Sue and her bundles talk so long. And then Bob comes in with his products. Now, if you're in it just to make money, Bob's products are good for right now. But how can you have a show where you talk how much, and he does this, how great these beds are? How great it's going to be when they release all of these patents and all these, 6,000 different items and products and stuff. All of this stuff, these products that Bob sells are going to be worthless. And I'm not cutting Bob down. If that's how he has to make money, I'm just afraid because I think they're good people. How does Sue go and sell a bundle to a redemption center, knowing and telling people and making it not just a bundle, but a golden bundle? How do you do that when you've never been to the redemption center? Now, if she would go and lie like some other people that is doing shows like this, and she would say, I've actually set in on a redemption center meeting. They've showed me exactly what we're going to need. If she wants to lie and sell her bundles that way, that's one thing. In Patriot 5 and Patriot 6 and family, I worked not as hard as Elaine did because she worked her butt off to put this program together. But we just put a program together, what we think we're going to need. But it wasn't a golden bundle. It wasn't even a silver bundle. It was just a bundle. It was a bundle. And we give it away. So people can go in there with that information. They can have an idea. But nobody, how are they going to get the information to us exactly what we need? Unless they have someone who is from a redemption center, do a show, come out and say, this is what you're going to need. That's when you're going to get it. Can you imagine buying Sue's first bundle? And now she's got like 5 other bundles after that. How do you feel when you paid $250 way back 5 years ago? And now everything that she sent you is probably obsolete from what she's doing now. And I don't care. They can do what they want to do. But I can also report to my people, please stay away from that stuff. Please, you don't need it. You're going to get to go in there. You're going to get to present what you got, and you're going to get in and out. But the one thing you have to remember, please listen to this. You go in there, you present what you have. It's yours. If you have something, you make sure you have it marked exactly what you have. When you hand it over to them, you look at them. Then you look at them and say, this is what I just handed you. I want you now to initial it or sign it. If they won't do it, say why. Ask them, this is yours. If they come back and say, well, Mr. Anderson, this one currency you have, it's no good. Okay. I bought some Zim. I bought Zim from 4 or 5 different places. I have a lot of Zim, me and Ron does. If they come back and say, well, this Zim isn't any good, and they want to keep like 300 or 400 trillion of it. No, if it's no good, you give it back to me because I have the receipt saying I bought it. You're not going to keep it. And then down the line, you're going to get some buddy of yours to come in and you guys are rich. I mean, the money we're going to get, if they need a little money, I'll gladly throw a couple $100,000 or $1 million to them. I don't care. It's money. it can be used for great things. But the point I'm making here is for the people who say, it's not about the money. Yeah, it is. And I'm right at the head of the list. But when I say, I'd like to have, I just want to have a car. I want to have a car that when I put the key in it and I turn it on, it's going to get me where I want to go and get me back. We used to have some people here in our little town of Buckingham. And they had some money. Man was into gas. So am I, but it's from the other end. Kids got that joke. Adults probably didn't. But this man would buy a new car. And he would drive this new car. He always paid it off, paid cash right off the bat. Never had a car payment. He would drive this car until he needed new tires. And then he'd go in. He'd buy a new car. They'd look at him and say, well, these tires are a little bit shy. Well, yeah, but the rest of the car's in excellent shape. And they got to understand this. He did this. And I thought, wow, wouldn't it be great that you never have to worry about a flat tire? You never have to worry about a bad battery. Now, with the money, Bill Woods, Susie Q, Janet, all of us, the money that we're going to have, we can take it another thing. We can get it to where we never buy new tires for a car. We go get a new one. But then there might be this person over here that they're not quite as well off as we are. And we say, hey, you want it? All it's going to cost you is a title transfer. I don't even know if we'll have them because we're doing away with everything. All it's going to cost you is a title transfer and new tires. You think you could get people to say, yeah, I think I have to do that. But Bruce was very good last night. Bruce said that we're there, that he expected us to get the 800 numbers sometime today. If not today, tomorrow for sure. He expects us to be into the redemption centers this weekend. And Bruce says this every Thursday night. But it was something about the way he was handling himself last night that made me have a hard time thinking, because I really believed him last night that I believe this could be the weekend. Something that hasn't been said that I haven't read yet. Someone said it to me, but I have not seen it where someone's come out and put it in print or in a video. Remember, they've always said the Chinese want this to go on a weekend. That's a long weekend. We've got it. We've got it here in the United States. So, where we are now, I think the title of tonight's show says where I think we're at. I'm not sitting here trying to look at One Voice and Lady Anita and Janet and Susie Q and Tony. I'm not sitting here trying to pump you up that I'm just trying to be excited tonight. I truthfully believe we are there. It's just a matter, are they going to pull the string? Now, I don't know if you guys heard the news, but we have someone on our show. I call her Savior because she literally saved this show. New people, how she saved it. We had some problem one night and I was ready to quit it. I was ready to walk away. She wouldn't allow it. She kept working with me and comforting me and calming me down until we did this show. We did a great show and we've been going ever since. But she was without internet. This lady without internet is like a baby without something to eat. You know what I mean? And it had to be a very long day for her. And I kept checking my phone. Did she send anything yet? Nope, she still doesn't have it. Did she send anything yet? Nope, she still don't have it. But evidently she got it towards the middle of the night, because I know I woke up to my phone going, ding, 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 and she was back. And I said, I looked up at the ceiling of my house like I'm looking up at heaven, and I said, thank you, God, you got her back. And she's an amazing woman. Nothing she wouldn't do for anybody. She's got a little bit of a problem in her yard, so say a prayer for her to help her get that fixed. So, as I said, with Bruce, very good last night. But I do have to clear up something. There's a lady out there, and I cannot tell you her name. I don't know her name. She went by one name. Now she's going by another name. And the other day she did a video where she had a really good friend who knows a lot about these special beds. And he was there to let us know all about it. Now remember, she's under 2 names already. And all of a sudden, when she says about her friend and he's here to help, all of a sudden she sits there like this. Like she's waiting to get introduced. And then she just started talking. There was never a man come on and talked. The things that she said on that video, I thought was the worst video anybody's ever did. Everything I thought that she said was 100% false. She came back the next day and did another video as herself or the other girl. She goes by 2 different ones. I think she might have got rid of the one name now and just going by another one. But do say a prayer for her mom. Her mom is not doing well, so say a prayer for her. But the reason I brought this story up is because Janet, every show and a couple others during the shows, they always post up my Yahoo email address so anybody can contact me anytime they want. And I went in after the show the other night. It was in the middle of the night. I couldn't sleep. And I had an email there. Whoo! Wouldn't give the name who sent it. Tried to check things out. Wouldn't give the name. But see, the things that they said to me, called me some names that, since the kids are watching, I can't say these names. Probably if I said them, I would get shut down. Said some things to me and told me I need to keep my mouth shut and just do my shows. I'm pretty sure I know who sent it. Since the stupidity of the person, I guess he doesn't understand that there's ways that you can track things. And this particular person, whether it be man or woman, I've tracked this particular person before, so I kind of know what to do. So I know who it is, but, I just don't think you got the kahunas to stand up and walk like a man, talk like a man. And maybe it's not a man, because I'm not going to give you any indication. I just, everything we've been through, part of me said at one point, I should quit. And I said, no, if I quit, they win. So anybody who emails me, if you email me, you can express your opinion. If you call me names, if you call me a liar, because as I told you guys, I am a liar. I don't hide it because I talk about what's going on, what we're being told, and we're being lied to. So when I come out and talk about it, I'm lying. But as I've also told everybody, everything I say on here, I believe to be true. I believe 100% we're ready to go. I've had some people send me bad messages saying, I sent you all this stuff about that stuff that happened in 2020. I've sent you all this stuff about things that's going on with certain kids in certain places. And I've taken a courtesy to respond and say, yes, you have. But I don't talk about that in the show because I like doing the shows. And we said one time, I mentioned that thing that happened in 20 that started with C and come from China. I mentioned it one time and they shut us down for 2 weeks. I like the fact that we have come up with a system where we can talk. The people here know what we're talking about and we can keep moving forward. Hold on. Yes, I did. But I forgot to call you. Sorry. My daughter checking to make sure I made it home okay. It's snowing again here, by the way. Oh, save your sentence. Let's see what we got to talk about tonight. If it'll open up. Come on, quit spinning. Tomorrow is 15.2, which 215 equals 17Q. The hat says 12 plus Saturday equals 7 equals 19. President of the Republic. Be ready, Patriots. God bless. Anonymous Freedom 17. The global currency reset. Who are the Chinese elders? The Chinese elders were made up of different multi-generational Chinese families living in the Philippines who for centuries owned and were responsible for around 90% of the world's gold, lending it to countries for the establishment of their financial systems. There were 5 major Chinese majors responsible for the global currency reset and the release of the RV funds. In 1914, Illuminati bloodline families signed a 99-year lease on the Chinese elders' gold and then proceeded to illegally launder all American taxpayers' funds through the privately owned federal IRS banks, headquarters, corps, and other Washington, D.C., City of London, and the Holy SEE in the VAT city. That system was being phased out with a global currency reset. The White Hat Alliance and Q global team originally included 17 countries. Their military included Stellar and QFS Space Force, plus military intelligence. The supreme commander of the alliance was President Donald the Hat. The agency headed by our president of the U.S., Richard Grinnell, with the U.S. under martial law, was directing military ops in Washington, D.C. and various militaries around the world, including the international force authorized to make arrest in any country, Interpol. BRICS was an alliance of the nations formed in 2008 after the so-called mortgages crisis in the U.S. In reality, the crisis occurred when the cabal continued to print U.S. fiat dollars while bankrupt and unable to pay interest on the gold borrowed who backed the U.S. dollar, but the bedrock of the international trade. Since the BRICS were formed, they have assessed the gold and resources of 209 nations in preparation for the GCR. After the GCR, all countries' currency would be at 1-to-1 with each other instead of relying on the fiat US dollar for international trade. Boom. The Hat Secretary plan activated Unit 77, Trident Command Project Phoenix, Starlink, Big N, Big G in full effect. The world just changed over February 12, 2025, the moment Patriots have been waiting for. The deep state stranglehold is being ripped apart, and the final phase of the plan has begun. The Hats return the green light for the final assault. The Hat reinstatement was just a political event. It was the signal of classified orders where signed immediately. Military tribunals expanded at GITMO is now overflowing with deep state operatives, corporate elites, and globalist financiers who will face justice. Big N is active. The three-letter organization that begins with an I and ends with an S, and the Federal Reserve in full collapse. That same three-letter organization has ceased collections, and Federal Reserve's corruption is being exposed at an unprecedented speed. Over $500 billion in seized cabal assets are being redirected to the Big N, Big G programs. The quantum financial system, QFS, is here tracking and freezing deep state slush funds in real time. The old banking system is over. Unit 77, Trident Command, and Starlink, the deep state worst nightmare. White hats are fully operational. The COVID Unit 77 is now fully integrated with Musk Starlink, providing real-time surveillance and counterstrikes, high levels of strongholds in the Antarctica and Greenland. And then there's a little more, but I'm not going to go into all of that. Guys, I don't know if you watch videos. There's a video out there that this I don't know, lady that has something to do with the hat. And this one guy, the hat calls him melon head. He says, you got a head like a watermelon. And the guy looks at this lady and he says, can I ask you a question? Do you justify his talking? Or will you have a talk with him and set him down and get him to stop calling me watermelon head? And she looks at him without blinking and she says, quite frankly, I don't see how you cannot see it. If you look in the mirror, your head does look like a watermelon, an oversized watermelon. And she said, for the life of me, for God's sakes, cannot understand how that little bitty skinny neck you have on your shoulders can hold up that watermelon head. And the guy goes, yeah, it was a joke, but it was funny, and I wanted to share it. You guys might not have got the good part of the joke, but it was funny. Bruce is reading his intel. Okay. Intel only. Where are we now? Bondholders' funds to their account started yesterday or last night, and placed into those accounts and working now to where they have notified and have access by Saturday. Where do we stand? Tier 4A and B, WF, don't distinguish between them. Wells Fargo, don't distinguish between them. We heard early this morning we'd be starting in a couple of days, and then later it got better and a bit more precise, and so now from different sources who came in with similar information, the Tier 4B, it was activated at noon today, and on Thursday, 13 February, it was ready to be started for us to receive notifications. While we are talking about today at 1 p.m., Big End funds started going out. So the R&R allowance, it looks like started going out today at 1 p.m. to those in dire financial need. Now those funds have begun, and so we go into the RC for exchanges and redeem our ZIM, and our R&R should be in our QFS account. So all we need to do is activate the card, and we've already been over how we will do that. So the card will be then activated. There are 3 chips in the card, and you only use it to move funds to your primary, secondary, or whatever accounts. And as of yesterday, banks can no longer see the monies in our accounts, and we now are in the process of being no longer mirrored by our funds are already in those QFS accounts and taking place now. So the FineTech system, which is connected to the QFS and Starlink, the FineTech is a QRP digital coin or currency to back our USTN currency. So everything is all coming together and happening around the world. Will it take long? Bruce doesn't know, but does know our accounts are part of that new system. And XRP is being introduced by FineTech, but it is complicated that it happened today. Now, when he mentioned XRP, as I said, Bruce talked his show last night a heck of a lot better than I just read it. But when you talk about XRP, I got a message last night from one of our fellow Patriots here. And he said, Ralph, are you going to purchase gold and silver when we go to the bank? And to be honest with you, I'm just so focused on going into the redemption center about getting this over and getting maybe a day or two to just breathe. I am so focused on that I really hadn't thought about gold and silver. But stop and think. When this happens and you go, you can't come back and buy some more currency. You cannot double dip. You get to go one time and one time only. So you cannot double dip. Gold and silver probably wouldn't have shot up sky high then, so it might be, hey, what does it hurt if you got the money? You say, well, I own 3 pounds of gold. I mean, it's something. But what made me think, and I want to share this with you guys because this is something that really made me think and can really help a lot of people down the line farther. XRP. Last I checked yesterday, it was $2.31. A far cry from the 31 cents that I bought most of ours for. But it is what it is. But still at $2.31. So if you get a bunch of money, what would it hurt to open an account and buy 10,000 of them? Everything I'm seeing XRP is going to go at least over $10,000. Now, when I tell you this, guys, I'm not telling you to buy gold and silver. I'm not telling you to buy XRP. I'm telling you it's something I may look into. But then again,
You're not a
they may
financial
freeze us.
advisor.
Pardon me?
You're not a financial advisor.
You know, they may freeze us. They may not let us go and get any XRP. I don't think they'd stop us from getting gold or silver. We don't know. I mean, it's just something, an option for everyone to keep open. Got to go back here and see what Judy's got to say, and then we'll wrap this booger up. A lot of what Judy's got to say I probably have already covered. Judy Bidington, Restored Republic update as of 14 February 2025. Welcome to Friday, 14th, 2025 V-Day, Valentine's Day massacre when all hell breaks loose, according to President the Hat. Judy note as of Friday, 13 February, Valentine's Day, the cabal's final hour has arrived. Buckle up, the storm is here. Trust the plan. In my opinion, those who are upset with Elon and his DOGED team for accessing public records to cut federal waste and spending, saving the money. See, guys, I don't even think he's trying to cut federal waste. I don't think, I think what he's doing is he's literally bringing out how terrible these people are. But here's what I don't understand. Why an ordinary person such as myself, but I've not woke up yet, I might be a rat, how an ordinary person could get mad at Elon Musk for doing this, trying to make our country great again. How can you get mad at someone because he's trying to find out where all of our tax dollars went? My goodness gracious. They got mad at Elon Musk because he said something, and they sent X amount of $1 billion of them things that people use for protection when they, man and a woman get together. They sent $1 billion of these things, these rubberish things, to this country. And the lady says he needs to get his facts straight. They actually sent them to 2 countries. It doesn't matter if you send them to 100. Why is our tax money going to other countries so they can practice safe sex? That is the most ridiculous. And it's not just that, guys. It's everything that they're uncovering. Why are they afraid? There's this lady. I think she's a lady. She's been working in Congress for many years. But she's never, in the job she's had, made over $200,000 in a year. She's never done it. She's never done it. So they asked her the other day, how does a lady that's worked like you have, never had a job that's made over $200,000 a year, have money in the bank to the amount of over $37 million? Now, let's face it, when you're making $200,000 a year, I'm sure there's chances you can take. Well, let's go back to 2008, I believe it was, when Bitcoin come out, or whenever it was Bitcoin came out. You had a chance to buy Bitcoin when it first came out for 1/2 penny a piece. Well, what if she's maybe she ain't making 200 then? She might have only been making 75. Enough that she can live in the elite class, because back that many years, that would put you up in a nice class of people. And what if she took 20,000 and bought? I mean, think of how many she'd get at a half a penny a piece, if she took $20,000, she could be worth a lot more than $37 million today. But the trouble is, there's no records anywhere where she paid taxes on any of this $37 million. The president of the one country that the girl that I write lives in, he came out and he told the hat, all this money that they're saying they're giving us, they more or less holding me hostage because we're not getting it. It's going to this person and this person. And we all know who they were. And a lot of them was pardoned by, an idiot. A lot of Judy today is talking about, what's going on with Musk, with the hat, what's going on, what's getting ready to happen. They're talking about, they just seized over $500 billion in cabal assets that was redirected to the big N and big G for us, the people. I seen a video, guys, and it was very sad. I seen a video and a girl was crying. And she says, how long has this been going on? It's bad enough they did it to me my whole life. Did they do it to my mom and dad their whole life? Did they do it to my grandparents? We worked hard. And that's where you really comes up and it bites you right in the butt cheek. Because you work hard just to get a little extra. I can remember, I haven't hid the fact that Ron and me, when we grew up, we were not very rich. We were kind of poor. And I remember when I got the factory job and I was making decent money and we started getting raises and we started getting raises and we started getting raises. We got up there. We actually got up there with the actual living people, what we were making per hour. And I started working overtime because, that check. But then if you'd work 2 or 3 days a week, 4 hours over, you got even more money and it was so great. And my mom looked at me once and she says to me, why are you working so much overtime? I said, Mom, because we need the money. She said, you do not. You make plenty of money. Because my mom was used to basing money off of what my dad made. And my dad would not let my mom work. She was a stay-at-home mom because he didn't want any of his children getting in trouble. And we didn't. And I looked and I said, Mom, I just like for my kids to have a little more than what I had. And my mom broke down crying and it broke my heart because I never want to do anything to make my mom cry. I said, what are you crying about? And she says, I'm sorry we were such disappointments. My mom and dad was the greatest parents in the world. But as I told them, shouldn't every generation want more for their kids? That's how you move upward. And that's where we lost because as we're trying to move upward, they're trying to move us downward. Something that Savior, I'm just about done, guys. Something that Savior brought up to me was, when she is big on talking about different calendars. And yesterday she says to me, she said, today is actually the 1st. And you know what? I hadn't even thought about it. And what is the one thing that Junior is out there saying all the time? All the time. You can't go hardly any place that if Junior says something, he isn't saying this. The plan was always February. So see, Myrna and Herman and David, Nunu Biswax, Janet, Richard. In our minds, as we're thinking, we look at the calendar today and it says the 14th, which in essence, in just a few hours, this month will be half over. But the way the military is, the way the hat is, and the way the other people is, today's actually only the 2nd. I just wanted to put that out there because happy Valentine's Day, none of you bizwax. That's about all I got. I'm going to say goodnight because I'm going to get us out of here in under an hour. I got 10 seconds to get off. So, guys, have a great weekend, and hopefully we'll come back with a quick show just to say congratulations. Good night, everyone.